The release of James Gunn's Superman movie is just a little over a month away, and all eyes are on Warner Brothers and DC and James Gunn and David Corenswet because this is a very important movie for the future of this franchise under the craftsmanship of James Gunn. He's got a lot of big plans, but will those all come to fruition? A lot of it's going to depend on how Superman performs at the box office and how it's received by the fan base. But one important question that has been out there is, what is the budget for James Gunn's Superman? And now we have from Warner Brothers what they're telling us the budget is. Unfortunately for them, we have some other documents that show they might not be being completely honest with everyone. James Gunn's Superman movie budget revealed in new report. And yes, a new report is out there claiming that Superman by James Gunn had a $225 million budget. Now, even in these initial reports, they're out there saying, hey, $225 million budget with a fairly large marketing budget. They told us they wanted a Barbie level marketing for this movie. That's about to kick off here soon. Barbie was about $150 million. $100 million is usually the minimum for a movie like this. So somewhere in between there, potentially up to $150 million. You're talking about a movie that pretty expensive at $225 million would likely need to be in that $700 million threshold at the global box office for it to be considered successful. And everyone in the industry knows that it's very important how this film is received going forward. However, when it comes to this budget, there's something that James Gunn addressed not that long ago, several months ago, sometime in 2024, because we had some documents that came out surrounding Superman that actually said it's much more expensive than the $225 million that they are claiming it is. Now, this wouldn't be the first time we've seen this. We see it from Disney movies and Marvel movies all the time, especially ones that are filmed over in the UK. They tell us what the budget is, and then a few years later, the tax documents come out. It turns out they spent a lot more. Whether it's like Multiverse of Madness, where they told us it was $200 million, in actuality, it cost around $375 million. We've even seen it recently with Warner Brothers and DC with The Flash. When it came out and they said, hey, $220 million budget. Now it flopped and failed at the box office, but it turns out that they shorted themselves on that budget. It was actually around $300 million. Well, in the case of James Gunn's Superman, that $700 million threshold, it might be a lot more than that, because we had reports from back in 2024, and James Gunn said, oh, no, that's not true. James Gunn has been proven to lie consistently about a lot of things going on behind the scenes with the Superman movie, and later he kind of looks foolish, but he came out and said, no, that can't be true. $363 million budget? No, I wish it was that much, but no, that's not the budget for this movie. Unfortunately, this is not just, a report says this, a report says that. We had official tax documents that were revealed, not in some random scooper's Patreon or anything like that. It was actually in Ohio. The Columbus Business Journal in Ohio ran a report because they were excited about all the jobs that were coming to the state of Ohio because of the filming of Superman. Within that report, they had the tax document that Warner Brothers filled out, the official tax document for Ohio motion picture tax application. So what this is Ohio gives some money, some tax breaks and incentives for people filming in Ohio. But in order to get that money, you need to disclose a bunch of stuff. How much work you're doing there, how much money you're spending in Ohio, how long you plan on being there, and what the overall production budget of your movie actually is. Well, for this one, specifically for Superman, the project title was Genesis at the time. This is when they filmed. You can see right here, timing of production, first pre-production date, last production date, all of this stuff. Well, they also disclosed their total production budget, which is $363 million. Now, with an $11 million tax credit from Ohio, maybe some others from other places they filmed, maybe you do get that budget down from 363. You don't get it down to 225. In all likelihood, this movie does cost well over $300 million. And just like we saw for something like The Flash from Warner Brothers, they don't want to put that number out there because that means the break even is much, much higher than the $700 million that they want people to believe that it is. Now, ultimately, if it is $300 million plus dollars and they only make, $800 or $900 million, don't technically make the break even, they could still maybe consider this success if they get people energized and want people invested in the future, and maybe that pays off later. All those things are possibilities. But now them coming out with this $225 million budget, setting that $700 million mark as essentially their break-even point, it's hard to buy when we have these tax documents. And James Gunn, when he was denying it and excusing it, said, yeah, maybe an intern filled out the form wrong, these are legal fucking documents, right? Like, you would get in a lot of trouble if you misfilled that and got more money back from Ohio than you were actually supposed to. And it's also a very precise number, $363,845,386. I do not trust James Gunn when it comes to this stuff. And this budget is not just, some scooper says this. No, official tax documents filed in the state of Ohio for the Superman movie. That's what it is. And it was reported by a business journal, not by some random scooper on his Patreon. But they're claiming it's $225. It still sets the benchmark pretty high for Superman, $700 million. If they don't get to that, in all likelihood, they won't even beat Man of Steel. But what do you guys think? Let me know what you think about this reported budget. As we've seen before, Warner Brothers has lied just like Disney has lied about these in the past. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.